Hello, and welcome to Stretching the Word. I'm your host, Sister Valerie, and not today, devil, just not this year. As we continue with love, lust, and lonely, today we're going to come out of First King chapter 3. Now, before we get into that, we're going to talk about King Solomon. King Solomon was granted wisdom because he didn't ask God for materialistic things. God asked him. Now that's a good thing when God asks you what you want. You all right with God, as they say. When he asks you what do you want because of your lifestyle pleasing unto him. So God had asked him, what do you want? He didn't say, oh, I want money, I want houses, I want cars. You know us. Because my hand is raised. If he asks me, Lord, I need this, I need that. I'm not going to say I would have took the Solomon road and asked for wisdom. But because he didn't ask for materialistic things, God granted him and gave him wisdom, which brought everything else into play. See, we got to know the right answer to give because, if I say, Lord, I want a car, the car going to eventually rust out or whatever, If I say, Lord, I need a house, I got to be specific, Lord, I want you to pay the house off. I don't just want a house because then I'm stuck with the mortgage. So we have to be specific, but we don't always have to ask for materialistic things. That's the first lesson. He didn't ask for nothing materialistic, but he got something that was far better. So there he was, and he had wisdom and, how to go in and out and how to judge the people. So we're going to pick up the story in 1 Kings chapter 3 and verse 16. And I'm going to be reading the BBE version because it really breaks it down. If you have King James Version, that's good because that's what I was raised on, the King James Version. But today I'm going to be reading 1 Kings chapter starting at the 18th verse. And it says, then to loose women of the town. That's the problem right there. They was loose. So we all know, what that means. So it said, then two loose women of the town came and took their places before the king. And one of them said, oh my Lord, I and this woman both live in the same house. Now you get these two prostitutes living in the same house. So, that fear was just running rampant because both of them in the same house. And she said, and I gave birth to a child by her side in the house. And 3 days, now listen to this, and 3 days after the birth of my child, this woman had a child. So we were together. No other person was with us in the house. So you got these two prostitutes staying in the house, both of them pregnant. One have a child one day, and 3 days later, the other one has a child. Okay, so it said nobody else was there. So then it says, in the night, this woman, which we'll call her woman A, she was sleeping with the baby in the bed with her. See, that's why they tell you, don't put the baby in the bed. They know what they talk about. Oh, I'm just so lazy. Oops, did I say lazy? But okay, I'm just so lazy that I don't want to get up when the baby cries. I just want to roll over because I got the bottle over here in the warmer and the baby here. So I ain't got to get up. All I got to do is reach my hand over here because I'm half asleep. Reach my hand over here, get the bottle, stick it in the baby's mouth. But they tell you, don't put the baby in the bed. But this is why. She said, in the night, this woman sleeping on her child was the cause of the death. The mama rolled over on the baby and smothered the baby. It said, then she played slick. She got up. She knew I was sleeping and had my baby in the bed with me. But I was sleeping so sound till she got up and switched the babies. She took my live baby and put her dead baby in my arm. But I know my child. See, every mother knows their child. So when she woke up, she was like, what is this? Oh no, then the other woman, she was, oh well, see, you must have rolled over on your baby. And she was like, no, no, no. That ain't what happened. This is your baby. You pulled that switcheroo. So they went back and forth about it. And then they said, the woman said, well, okay, I know what we'll do. We're going to take the case down here, the King Solomon. We're going to let him decide. Because ain't no sense in us standing there arguing, going back and forth about my baby, my baby, my baby. So they went and took the case before King Solomon. So verse, we're going to put, picking it up in verse 23. And it says, then the king said, one says, the living child is my son, and yours is the dead. And the other says, not so, but your son is the dead, and mine is the living. See, there they was. They arguing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But because King Solomon had so much wisdom, he said, oh, okay, we're not going to solve this problem by all other words here. He said, just go bring me the sword. And bring me a sword. You talking about a baby. We talking about a baby, and one is already dead, one's alive. You want a sword? But he was using, as we would like to say, psychology on him. He was using reverse psychology on him. He said, go get me the sword. Verse 24. Then he said, get me a sword. So they went and put the sword before the king. And the king said, let the living child be cut in two, and one half going to be given to one of the women, and the other half we're going to give to the other one. So we got one baby dead, and you finna cut the other baby up? In other words, you finna murder the baby that's alive. So of course it said, then the mother of the living child came forward, for her heart went out to her son, and she said, oh my Lord, give her the child. Do not on any account put it to death. That's a real mother's love. But the other woman said, it will not be mine or yours. Let it be cut in two. A real mother's love will allow somebody else to have the child rather than see the child dead. So today we're talking about the love that a mother has for their children. And we see today that a lot of women, because every woman that has a child does not become a mother. And we see that in this society. But a real mother has that love that goes beyond understanding. So a real mother today will cry out for their child. We're not going to throw our children away. We're not going to just sit back and let the devil have our children. No, a real mother's love, a real mother's heart cries out to God, save my son, save my daughter from the hands of the enemy, because we love them and we will not give them up to the enemy.